So proudly we've hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the
teachers, staff, teachers, staff members, graduates, please be seated. I've been in the planning for over a year with the help of great people like Judy Ray and many of our wonderful teachers. We have finally arrived to our destination. We gather today to honor the graduates and their achievements from the 2005-2006 school year. Your efforts and hard work have come down to this moment where you are honored for your hard work and effort. Successfully promoted into the next level of education. We hope that we have prepared you enough for the skills to move forward in school and life. This year you have developed many special relationships which will hopefully never end. And I hope these memories will never be forgotten. You are a special class in so many ways. Remember the fond memories and never forget the people that made them possible. I would out of my heart and tell you always to please come back and say hello. I would like to introduce the teachers that make learning possible in our school. Teachers, when I say your name, I would ask if you just please stand and be recognized. Mr. Walter Mapes. Do me a favor. Please hold the applause until everyone is done. I should have said that. Mr. Trevor Duncan. Ms. Jennifer Koliasis. Mr. James Stephen. Ms. Irene Sikorsky. Ms. Lisa Robles. Mr. John Duffy. Mr. Steve Espelot. I knew that was going to happen. Mr. Victor Singh. Come on, guys. Mr. Kevin O'Lory. Mr. Vincent Quinn. Ms. Jessica Yakel. Mr. Lauderon Exime. Miss Mary Jane McVeigh. Mr. Michael Alpern. Miss Suzanne Nelson. And Mr. Philip Perez. Big round of applause for the 8th grade. And Ms. Ray is going to introduce the teachers of the graduating classes.
Mr. Joseph Virgiles, Mr. Vincent Campbell, Mrs. Heidi Golden-Nessenberg, Miss Mary Jarash, Mrs. Marielle Piazza, Bruce, Mrs. Barbara Siren, Mr. Andrew Green, Mrs. Winifred Mann-Bauman, Mr. James Ranella, Mr. Roberto Sopaz, Mrs. Phyllis Bryan Smith, Mrs. Anastasia Dresner, Mrs. Reva Hollander, Mrs. Louise Micklin, Mrs. Cheryl Rubin, Ms. Yolanda Webster, and our beloved PTA President, Patricia Manzi.
Eighth grade professional, educational paraprofessionals, Miss Elizabeth DeFrank, Miss Mary McGonigal, Miss Magna Suarez, instructional superintendent. Thank you, Mr. D'Onofrio. We know how busy you are, especially this time of the year. We thank you for stopping by. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Shah Ahmed. Come on.
My experience here in middle school tour 2 was magnificent. Now I would like to talk about the future. We all don't know what we want to do in the future, but we may have a vague idea what we want to happen. All we can do is make the possibility of what we want to happen greater, and that depends on what we want to do. But the main route to success is
Graduating class of 2006 and parents, relatives and friends of the graduates, good morning. It's hard for me to find this place, but it was really a beautiful place to have your graduation. I want to congratulate you and just say to you and thank Mr. Moore for all he's done and for all the teachers and assistant principals and staff at the school. Just remember in your life, as I was in your shoes, I remember a number of years ago.
Fitzgerald, it's always an honor and a pleasure to stand here and recognize the accomplishments of the children in front of us. But the children need to recognize that the parents have stood behind them for all these years. For those of you that play music, they've listened to you try your first instrument, and I don't think it was very good. Or play your music very loud when you discovered that you like certain radio stations and your parents just don't like the music. Or your friends are calling at all hours of the evening, interrupting dinner, etc., or you're trying to study and they're bothering you. Or they're trying to get you to do things that they think are right and you really want to do something different. But it's time for you to stand up, turn around, and give them a big round of applause. Come on, no, stand up, come on. You're doing it.
Hindi alam mo anak mo nandito. Hindi alam ni Niki nandito tayo.
Okay, sit down.
Doon tumitingin eh. Hindi niya alam.
I told you, Mr. D'Onofrio, they would sit when I told them to sit.